Right, very, very nice insights there. So also let's look at the profitability, because I believe you've spoken about, first of all, we start a business and then we think about, okay, how much money am I going to make with this? So for you to make a profit in a business, and for you to make sure that at least you get to your customers the right way, what is the process, and how do you sit down and plan this and say, okay, I want to focus on human-centered design and make sure that at the end of the day, I as a business person, I've received my profit and the customer is satisfied.
All right. The process, it's a four-step process. We normally call it the double diamond process. So you start ideally with the discovery phase, where you look at, again, who your user is. You totally profile them. You get to know who they are, what they like, what don't they like, what is their financial capability, what problems do they have, and then now you narrow down to what are their key pain points, right? And what are their key problems that they're going through, or what are their key aspirations that you would want to help them achieve. Then after you narrow down, you actually figure out how you're going to solve that problem or meet that need or meet that aspiration. You can have 1,000,001 ways to solve that problem, but then some of them might be practical, some of them might be feasible, some of them might not. You might have a problem, that you're facing, but then the technology does not allow me to help you solve it. Yeah. So probably I'm too ahead of my time, say with a problem, and the technology does not allow, or it's just too expensive. It could be a matter of licensing. You need a certain license that probably there's even no regulation. Like say, for instance, before electric vehicles came, when you were importing, the rates were based on engine capacity. An electric vehicle does not have an engine. That is a whole new problem. So there are some ways that will be practical, some will be feasible, some will not, and then now we find the most practical and the most feasible way to solve that problem, and that is now what you run with. And you don't have to ideally build the entire solution at once. You can do what we call prototyping, where or do an MVP, that is a minimal viable product, where you select certain features or aspects of the product or service that meet all the most urgent needs for that user, and that is what you're able to pilot, test with the user, get feedback from them. That feedback is what will help you iterate or pivot the product. Like say, for instance, some people had really good products and services, then COVID came. If they had studied their users well, they would pivot the product to meet the current needs, or for them to meet the needs of the user in the current situation. But then if that did not happen, or if they did not either do a pilot or run an MVP, it would be either too expensive or too time consuming. And there's also the fast mover element, where the first person to get to market with the product will ideally take the market share. So there is also need for that balance. And once you go through all those steps, you will finally come up with a product that once you test with your users, they'll be able to tell you if they are able to afford or not. It might be a fantastic product, but if your target audience cannot be able to afford it, you'll remain with a wonderful product in your garage or in your store, or a fantastic service that people cannot afford, or some people equate the price to quality or value. So who exactly is your user, and how are you being able to work with that? And once the product is out in the market, how do you continuously improve? How do you collect feedback from your users? How do you continuously improve to make sure that you still continue meeting the needs of your users? You still continue being profitable in case you need to do a price change. Say a new tax probably has been introduced. How are you communicating that to your users? Will they get frustrated if you do not communicate to them well about it? So those are ideally the steps that you'd follow. You look at who your users are, look at the challenges or aspirations, look at which ways are most practical and feasible for you to solve that problem for them. Do a pilot to run an MVP for the product, get feedback from them, then build the entire product, take it to market, and keep on improving and iterating the product.